Hello there, Pam Grace here, Access Consciousness Certified Facilitator, Conscious Parents, Conscious Kids Facilitator. I'm a mum, I'm a grandmother, and I'm also a mental health clinician, and I've been working with kids and parents for many years now. And I'm here to talk to you about bullying, which is a huge topic with lots of points of view around it, and something that all parents hope doesn't happen to their kid. So what can we be and do today? What can we create beyond and greater than the whole issue of bullying? And I wonder, what would you like to know about it all? And what difference can we be to create something greater around bullying? So when I was a mum to my kids when they were a little bit younger, I did find myself wanting to go into protect and rescue mode whenever I saw a hint of my children being bullied. And at that time even, I knew that that was not my finest choice, that was not going to empower my kids. And yet it was, for me, something that it was almost an instinct. And then I realized, after doing a lot of Access Consciousness classes and learning all of the tools, that I was resisting and reacting to having been bullied myself, and wanting to protect my kids from what I perceived as a terrible thing. So I wondered if we cleared some of the resistance and reaction and alignment and agreement, all of that stuff that does not allow you to be in total allowance and to have ease and clarity with the issue of bullying. I wonder if we could change some of that. It could create more ease for you as a parent. So, for those of you who are hearing this and don't know what Access Consciousness is, it's a set of tools and processes that, when we use them, changes the energy of anything that's not working for you. And one of the tools that we use is called the clearing statement, and it goes like this: right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine, shorts, boys and beyonds. Sounds like gobbledygook. It's actually short speak for a lot of words that change the energy, a bit like a vacuum cleaner. They suck up all the energy that's not allowing something greater to be created. And you can go to theclearingstatement.com if you want to know anything more about it. So let's see what we can clear and change around all of our resistance and reaction and alignment and agreement to bullying. So if I was to ask you all, what does bullying mean to you? What does that bring up? Okay, so all of that energy that's been brought up by my asking that question, would you be willing to uncreate and destroy all of that times a godzillion? Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine, shorts, boys and beyonds. I know for me, when I became aware of where I had jumped in to protect my children, there were a lot of judgments and lies around it all, and conclusions and decisions that I had made around it all. So I wonder if we could uncreate and destroy all of the decisions and judgments and conclusions and projections and expectations that we've maybe placed on our children around what bullying is. Would you be willing to uncreate and destroy all of that? Times a godzillion, right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine, shorts, boys and beyonds. And I wonder how many of you are keeping the fact that you were bullied a secret? Is there any shame and blame and guilt? What we call in Access Consciousness the distractor implants. All of those shame, blame, regret, guilt, distractor implants that are placed there to distract us from actually being the conscious beings that we truly be. So would you be willing to uncreate and destroy all of the distractor implants of shame, blame, regret and guilt, and all the secret and hidden lies and agendas that you may have around bullying or being bullied when you were a child? Would you be willing to uncreate and destroy all of those? Times of Godzillion, right and wrong, good and bad, POD and POC, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And a great question to ask around all of this is, what energy, space and consciousness can me and my body be to have total ease and clarity with all of this? Everything that doesn't allow that, let's uncreate, destroy it all. Times Godzillion, right and wrong, good and bad, POD and POC, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And in Access Consciousness, one of the greatest tools is questions. Asking questions empowers you and creates possibilities. When you give answers, it disempowers. It tells your children that they don't have any answers, that you know and they don't. When you ask them questions, it empowers them to know that they know. So we may look at a few questions later that we can ask our children that might create something greater. So what I also became aware of after doing the tools of Access Consciousness is that if you're being bullied, you are not weak. That's a lie and a myth. If you are being bullied, it's because a bully sees something in you. A bully sees a power and a potency in you that maybe they would like. So what if you could let your children know that in actual fact, they have something that the bully would like? And what if they were willing to acknowledge that? And what if you could ask them that question? Would you be willing to acknowledge that you are more powerful and potent than you can imagine? And bullies see that in kids, and they want to put them back in their box. They want to keep the kids limited, and they want to have power over the kids. But it's because those kids have a potency and a power that the kids themselves have not been willing to acknowledge. So I wonder, what tools from Access Consciousness could we share with our children that would acknowledge that power and that potency? And what if it started with you, the parent, starting to acknowledge yourself and who you be? And what if your kids could see that and were aware of who you are willing to be? What if that is a gift for them, that you are willing to be the energy, space and consciousness that you truly be? Because the key to stopping the bully is for you to begin to be the infinite being you truly be. So if you as a parent were willing to be that and show that to your kids and let them see you as the energy, space and consciousness you truly be, what could that change? What could that change, and what could your children then choose? So what if it started with you as the parent? What can you choose? What can you change? Who and what can you truly be that you're not willing to be at the moment? What could you change? What could you do and be different that would be a contribution to your child? Okay, and what tools from Access Consciousness would you be willing to share with your children? So this may be somewhere where you start to look at where you're functioning right now as a parent. What tools are you using? Are you using the questions? What questions could you be asking your children now that could be a contribution to them acknowledging their potency? The very fact that you ask your children questions and don't give them answers and don't be constantly attempting to control them and tell them what to do is in itself an acknowledgement of their potency and their knowing. So what questions could you ask them? If they were to come home and tell you that they were being bullied, what might you say to them? What questions could you ask them? What about, what do you know about this? Can you handle this? Do you require anything from me? They're three great questions to start with. And then listen to your child and let them choose. Let them choose. They may be able to handle this. They may start to acknowledge their potency. And they may start to choose something different. And what else is possible here? And what's right about all of this that we're not getting? And what if you were to teach them the light and heavy tool? Could you let them know that when something feels dense and heavy to them, it's a lie? And when something feels light and yummy, it's true. And you can put your own spin on this depending upon your child and their age. You may give examples that you know of the light and heavy tool and how it works for you. So that when they go into school and kids start to say things that they then perceive as heavy, they will then know it's a lie for them. Or if it's light and yummy, that it's true for them. They can start to perceive the difference in the energy that people be when they speak. It's such a great empowering tool. So maybe you could share that with your kids. Maybe you could get your kids to drop their barriers and expand out and be the space that is ease. And what if you could talk to them about how that works for you? And how just by doing that tool, it can change everything when they can be that space. And maybe you could play around with that. Who does this belong to? Another great tool. Your kids are psychic SpongeBobs. They're picking up like a giant radio receiver. They're picking up on all the thoughts, feelings, and emotions of those around them. And if you've been doing Access Consciousness at all, you'll know this tool for yourself. What if you could share that tool with them? And that they can ask the question, is this mine? Who does this belong to? And if that lightens up at all, it's not theirs, and they can return it to sender. When we start to be the space of who we truly be and start to acknowledge our potency and who we truly be, and then we start to share some of these tools with our children, and they get their potency, and they get that the only reason that they're being bullied is someone sees something in them that they would like. They are just trying to stick you back in your box because you are powerful and potent. So what else is possible with all of this? And what energy, space, and consciousness can you as a parent be to be the catalyst for change for your child? And everything that doesn't allow that, can we uncreate and destroy it all? Times a godzillion. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and bock, all nine, shorts, boys and beyonds. And what if you being you could be the energy that could change everything? And what if you acknowledging who your child truly be could be the beginning of changing everything for them too? So, how does it get any better than this? And what else is possible? And what can we truly be and do different to change and create something different, something totally different and greater beyond what we could possibly imagine with all of this stuff around bullying? So thank you for this. And thank you for who you be.